In the heart of the vast Kalahari Desert, where the sun blazed relentlessly and the winds carried whispers of ancient secrets, there lay a small village called Tabeng. The people of Tabeng were known for their resilience, but the prolonged drought attested their spirits like never before. The once fertile fields had turned to dust. The riverbeds were cracked and dry, and the livestock grew thinner with each passing day. The elders often gathered under the baobab tree, their faces etched with worry as they debated how to save their village. Among them was Amatau, a stern but wise woman who had seen many droughts, and Naledi, the village healer, whose deep connection to the spirits of the land gave her a quiet authority. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, the villagers gathered around the fire. The air was thick with tension, but also a faint glimmer of hope. The lady stood and began to speak, her voice steady and soothing. She reminded everyone of the ancient legend of the Hidden Oasis, a place of abundant water and life, guarded by the spirits of the land. The oasis is real, she said, her eyes scanning the crowd, but it reveals itself only to those who are pure of heart and strong in spirit. The villagers listened intently, some nodding in agreement, while others, like Marmatau, remained skeptical. Among the crowd was a young herder named Cabello, a quiet and observant boy of 16. Cabello had always felt a deep connection to the land, often spending hours wandering the desert with his goats. That night, as he lay on his mat under the stars, he couldn't shake the image of the oasis from his mind. The next morning, as he led his goats to graze, he noticed something unusual. The animals, usually calm and predictable, were restless and drawn to a distant ridge. Cabello's curiosity was piqued. He decided to follow them, his heart pounding with a mix of fear and excitement. The journey to the ridge was arduous. The sun beat down mercilessly, and the shifting sands made every step a struggle. Cabello's throat was parched and his legs ached, but he pressed on, driven by a strange sense of purpose. As he climbed the ridge, he shielded his eyes from the sun and looked out over the horizon. What he saw took his breath away. A glimmer of green, a sight so rare in the desert that it felt like a mirage. Cabello rubbed his eyes, unsure if he could trust them, but the vision remained. He knew he had to investigate further. When Cabello returned to the village that evening, he was met with a mix of curiosity and disbelief. He described what he had seen to the elders, his voice trembling with excitement. Matau frowned, her arms crossed. "The desert plays tricks on the mind," she said. "You saw nothing but sand and heat." But Naledi listened intently, her eyes narrowing as she considered Cabello's words. "The boy has the sight," she said. "Finally, the spirits have chosen him to guide us." After much debate, it was decided that a small group led by Cabello and Naledi would set out to find the oasis. The group consisted of 6 villagers, each chosen for their strength and wisdom. They packed enough supplies for a week and set off at dawn, their hearts filled with hope and apprehension. The journey was grueling, the sun was unforgiving, and the desert seemed to stretch endlessly in every direction. Along the way, Naledi shared stories of their ancestors, of times when the land was fertile and the rains were plentiful. She spoke of the importance of perseverance and the bond between humans and nature. Cabello listened intently, his respect for Naledi growing with each passing day. On the 3rd day, the group reached the ridge Kabelo had described. From the top bar, they could see the glimmer of green in the distance, just as Kabelo had said. The sight filled them with renewed energy, and they hurried down the slope, their steps quickening with anticipation. As they drew closer, the oasis came into full view, a lush, vibrant paradise in the middle of the desert. Palm trees swayed gently in the breeze, and the waters sparkled like diamonds under the sun. The air was filled with the songs of birds, a sound so foreign in the barren desert that it brought tears to their eyes. But as they approached, they noticed something unusual. The oasis was surrounded by a ring of thorny bushes, their sharp spines glinting in the sunlight. It was as if the oasis was protected by nature itself, a barrier to keep intruders at bay. Naledi knelt and whispered a prayer to the ancestors, asking for their guidance. She explained to the group that the oasis was a gift, but it came with a responsibility. They could take what they needed, but they had to respect the land and its spirits. The group agreed, and with great care, they began to collect water and fruit. As they worked, Kabelo noticed something strange. The thorny bushes seemed to part slightly, creating a narrow path leading deeper into the oasis. He pointed it out to Naledi, who nodded thoughtfully. "The spirits are testing us," she said. "They want to see if we are worthy." The group followed the path, their hearts pounding with a mix of fear and curiosity. The deeper they went, the more breathtaking the oasis became. The air was cooler, the colors more vibrant, and the sense of peace overwhelming. It was as if they had stepped into another world. At the center of the oasis, they found a small pool of crystal clear water, surrounded by flowers of every color. Naledi knelt by the pool and dipped her hand into the water, whispering another prayer. She explained that this was the heart of the oasis, a sacred place where the spirits dwelled. The group sat in silence, soaking in the beauty and tranquility of the place. Kabelo felt a deep sense of connection to the land, as if he had finally found something he had been searching for all his life. When it was time to leave, the group filled their containers with water and gathered as much fruit as they could carry. They also collected seeds from the plants, hoping to bring some of the oasis's life back to Tabeng. As they prepared to leave, Naledi reminded them of the importance of gratitude. It was as if they had stepped into another world. At the center of the oasis, they found a small pool of crystal clear water, surrounded by flowers of every color. Naledi knelt by the pool and dipped her hand into the water, whispering another prayer. She explained that this was the heart of the oasis, a sacred place where the spirits dwelled. The group sat in silence, soaking in the beauty and tranquility of the place. Kabelo felt a deep sense of connection to the land, as if he had finally found something he had been searching for all his life. When it was time to leave, the group filled their containers with water and gathered as much fruit as they could carry. They also collected seeds from the plants, hoping to bring some of the oasis's life back to Tabeng. As they prepared to leave, Naledi reminded them of the importance of gratitude. He often led groups to the oasis, ensuring that they followed Naledi's teachings and treated the land with respect. Naledi herself became a revered figure, her wisdom guiding the village through the challenges that lay ahead. Years later, Kabelo would sit by the fire, telling the story of the hidden oasis to the children of Tabeng. He would describe the shimmering waters, the whispering palms, and the lessons they had learned. The oasis is not just a place, he would say. It is a reminder that we are all connected to the land and to each other. If we respect the earth, it will provide for us, even in the hardest of times. The children would lean in, their eyes wide with wonder, as Cabelo's words painted a picture of a world filled with magic and possibility. And so, the tale of the hidden oasis became a part of Taben's history, a story passed down from generation to generation. It was a story of perseverance, respect, and the enduring bond between humans and nature. The oasis remained a sacred place, a symbol of hope and renewal. And the people of Tabeng never forgot the lessons it had taught them. As the years went by, the village thrived, its people living in harmony with the land, guided by the wisdom of their ancestors and the spirit of the hidden oasis.